Hey everybody, thanks for checking out my stream today. Today is day 31 of my 3-year challenge to get my health and weight under control. It is Tuesday, December 1st. It is Giving Tuesday. I hope everybody got out or got an opportunity to do something to help out in their community, or maybe even receive the generosity of others today. So I don't have a lot of prep today because leading up to this, I was out handing out diapers in our community. It's something that uh, me and my wife have a nonprofit that we help to uh, raise money to acquire diapers, and then we distribute them into our community. Because of COVID here, we've actually been doing some drive up handouts, which is different than what we've done in the past few years. And so today we did a drive up handout. We handed out diapers to, I think it was 200 plus families, 300 babies received diapers. So it was great. So definitely a lot of activity today, and that is going to show up here. I know I'm going to get to the weight. So I'll just do the weigh in here real quick. I'll get it set up with my screen thing. Probably should have already had it linked. But today is day 31 of the challenge. I am still water fasting. I have not broke the fast. I haven't felt like breaking it yet so far. I was maybe a little bit hungry here prepping, but that might have been because of what I was doing while I was prepping, or what I was looking at to do the little bit of prep that I did do for the show today. So we are going to go and check out the weight. Going into today, the weight was 446.8 pounds. I was 73 pounds down since starting at 519.8. And today's weight is going 443.8. So it means I lost 3 pounds since yesterday, which is crazy. I mean, it's probably a little bit, being as big as I am, the scale might fluctuate a little bit because there's always a margin of error in a scale. Also, I was fairly active here for the last couple hours, where normally I would have been sitting and drinking water. I was up moving around and not drinking a lot of water. And so I do plan on making up for the lack of water throughout the evening tonight. So it'll probably level out. I may not weigh in tomorrow just because it's chances of having a 3-pound weight loss since yesterday and then rolling that into another large weight loss. Whether it's likely or not, it's 3 pounds in a day is amazing. So I'm I'm happy to see it gone. Like I've said, everything has been going really well with my fast so far. I can pull this up too, I guess, while I'm on here and I'm talking about the fast. The goal stays up there. It is so right now, according to the app I've been using to track my fast, I am at 737 hours and the 8 minutes here since I started streaming. Again, I've been extremely happy with my with everything since I started the fast, as far as the inflammation in my joints and the way my legs and my feet feel. Except for right now, my feet are killing me right now. My feet hurt a lot. I was just on my feet though for 2.5 hours straight. I had mentioned that we've been doing these diaper distributions, and the in the past 9 months we have done probably 7 of them at least, and I've always been every one of them. I've been over 500 pounds, and I I love the events. I love the giving the diapers and seeing the appreciation in the people and the kids. They don't know what's going on, but the kids are always happy. They're always waving. Um, and so, uh, but we've had them in nice weather, in rainy weather, in all kinds of weather, and every one of them, they're about 2 hours that we're out there. I've had, uh, to find a time to relax or sit down or kind of get away for a minute or find something to do that isn't on my feet the whole time. And I get through it either way if I have to, and my feet always hurt worse than they do now. Probably have generally have chafing that I'm not having. I haven't noticed so far yet, which is good as well. But this time, having lost that 75 pounds, being on my feet, I felt so much more alert. I felt so much more able to participate and be involved in it, and to be just felt better, to be able to walk around. And I did a lot of directing traffic, which ended up requiring me to do lots of walking, um, which was something that I'm going to uh, have this connect to my phone because I'm interested to see if I hit. I know that my watch went off. I wear if you've not seen this before, I wear a Garmin, I believe it's an Instinct watch. It keeps track of my heart rate, things like that. I think the battery's close to dead. It's getting close. Um, but I have been just kind of tracking mostly my heart rate on a day-to-day basis, just kind of seeing where it is, if it fluctuates a lot or if it stays pretty moderate. And I definitely feel like throughout this last month, it definitely is evening out, like getting up to go get something out of the fridge or getting up to go up a flight of steps to get something is not causing my heart rate to just explode like it had before I started losing the weight here. So the stress here, I don't understand why. Uh, oh, it hasn't updated everything. It's going slow. One of the reasons I stopped kind of pulling this up because of the stress thing was kind of showing uh, where I was never hitting blue, and actually that is probably all the time I was sleeping. Let me see. I haven't looked at this honestly in a couple weeks, and uh, it's much better. I don't know if I can kind of do this on the fly here. I didn't plan to talk about the Garmin app much at all, but let me see what you see. So that is okay. Um, let me go back. So, what I had was when I was looking at this earlier, especially the first couple weeks, it was pretty solid in the upper stress level. I'm gonna go back to maybe like the 14th, I guess. Like I said, it's been a while since we really looked at the stress, but so this is the 14th. Sure. Okay. So just a day. So that's November 14th. Don't really know if I can. I know I need to charge my battery. Sorry. So I don't know if I can quick go to today, but trying to see if there's a way to compare the. Just I'm doing this on the fly. I hadn't really even thought to look at this prior, but I do want to look at the steps because I'm really interested to see if it marked me doing a lot more steps than I normally to do. Today is December 1st. I'll go yesterday. So yeah, I mean, there's so much more blue in that than there was the previous. Let's see, this is a couple days ago. Yeah, I'm real happy with the difference there. So that's like the 28th. You know, it's still not saying I had any restful moments, but and then that's what the 14th was. Yeah, I mean that's a completely different. Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm really excited to see that. And then I wanted to see what I did for steps here. So this measures steps. I'm already at 5,700. That's going to be like eclipsing all of the other days that I had on here. So yeah, 3,900, 41, 51. I did have a decent day. 25. You know, I bet that was the day we went and picked up. We got a Christmas tree this weekend. Probably that day. So yeah, definitely picked up the steps. I still got a few more to do the rest of the day, you know, finishing up the day here. Yeah, I don't know how your guys' diet's going. I'd love to, you know, hear what you guys are doing to stay on track, or you know what you're doing to keep yourself accountable on your diets today. Let me see where I'm at. I didn't go over the 1,000,000 calorie, but so I lost 3 pounds since yesterday. It's an increase to 10,500 calories lost, which brings it up to 266,000 calories lost. I got this little banner thing here. I'm probably going to figure something out to do with. I actually made it my cover photo for my YouTube page, and so I might try to make more banners like that as I reach these accomplishments or these goals that I have ahead of me. I was gonna talk about the refeeding, or what I'm gonna do when I refeed. It's gonna be something I probably talk about a decent bit. It ends up being something that I'm thinking about a lot. You know, I mean, it's it's not a surprise that if you're fasting that you're going to think about food. Now, what thinking about food and having hunger are two different things. Sometimes the thinking about food uh, kind of pushes you into the hunger. Um, but it sometimes the watching or thinking about food alleviates the hunger too, I suppose. It's a weird thing. It's just the biggest thing I tell people when they ask me, you know, how can you do that or how can you be so far along? And to me, at this point, what I tell them is that if I were to just eat something, it would be more danger. You know, like if I were to just have a fun size Snickers bar, you know, what could that hurt? Well, it could hurt a lot in the state that my body's in, because my body uh, isn't ready for that. My body may be able to handle it because it, you know, but it wouldn't go well. I don't feel like, and so I want to be really careful about my refeeding. I had some people, I had posted some stuff on Reddit, and I had some people ask me about what I was gonna do, and I'm really leaning towards at least breaking the fast and trying to stay plant based for a short time. There's some, you know, there's a lot of videos and there's a lot of opinions you can get out there, and you know, I've been watching a lot of different things and looking at vegan options. The for me, and it might be just that a matter of training my brain as with other things, but I get scared of uh, the carbohydrates in a vegan or vegetarian diet. Um, and so that's kind of a hang up I have that I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I can get over it, or I can try to figure something out. So right now I'm leaning towards like a vegan, vegetarian, um, and then doing like proteins or meats occasionally. I'm not 100% sure though. It's tough because what I do for my maintenance, from the time I end my fast until I get close to my goal, it's going to be something I'm going to do it for a long time. I'm not going to be married to anything indefinitely because I know that it's going to be a learning curve, and it's going to be about finding the things my body likes or needs, and also the things that satisfy me as well. And so I've mentioned it before, the idea of not having items like fast food items, or cutting out whole food groups. I have a hard time with figuring that out, or wrapping my head around it. I have decided to square off the fast food um, for as long as I can, but or I'm hoping to just where I think I can go for a very long time without the fast food. I would like to at least see it through the end of the 3-year challenge, which there's some scenarios, or there's times I know or that's going to be difficult choice to make. Um, but I think it's something that I have to do, similar to people that are trying to quit smoking or drinking. You can't. It's hard to just wean off of those things, and you can't just have one occasionally if you think because you think you can you can handle it. And I definitely can't handle the fast food. Um, and that's really, I mean, I'll go into the fast food. I'm not, so the fast food savings account, the 454, that would be the total amount of money I spent in fast food in September of 2020. I am not going to continue to add on to that. It'd be kind of weird with timelines and things. And I've mentioned it. And, there's periods of time where I was paying cash for items, or, um, I might have been trying to do one of my, infamous 3-day, oh, I guess I can have that candy bar on the 4th day. I'll go back to my diet that that you never go back to. But one of the things I did do that yesterday was I'd taken one of my largest meals that I do, and I kind of did the calorie breakdown of it. And I thought I'd do that with another meal. And it's maybe, I guess for me, it's a little bit of showing my addiction out, what kind of a little bit. And then, maybe it relates to somebody. Maybe you don't buy the exact food I buy for the exact same reasons I buy it, but you buy your things because of cost, or you buy your things for other reasons. um One of the I guess the more recently, and it's I've more recently I've paid attention to the fact that I have a food addiction, and that I need um to fix it. And so fast food's been a big thing for me. And one of the things that I talk about or have said is that, you know, fast food is, as much as, I eat it as if I'm eating at a buffet, is the best way to explain it. I feel as if they offer the variety. I want to sample the menu, but I end up, trying the whole menu. So, one of the meals that I had been getting more recently that I feel like really shows where that kind of comes out is with uh, the Wendy's breakfast that I had been buying for the past few months. Uh, Wendy's breakfast. It was, I always pretty much buy the same things when I go to these restaurants too, which is kind of uh, part of, like, I guess if I'm gonna go there once a week or twice a week, I don't need to try all their stuff because it doesn't change. But anyways, that's not what happens. So I'm gonna go through a Wendy's breakfast order that I think yesterday it was on my list. It's about a $15 Wendy's order. And so the order would be the breakfast baconator combo. I would large size it with their fries and then get a drink. I mentioned yesterday there was actually a period of time here in the last year and a half where I had quit drinking soda, but when I started going back to fast food, that just means I replaced my 0-calorie diet Pepsi, diet Dr. Pepper with lemonades and fruit punches. And so, depending on the meal, I may have had a 0-calorie drink, probably had a diet Dr. Pepper on this particular meal, but I, some of them I would have had a full flavor drink. Anyways, so I have the breakfast baconator. And so then I would also order a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, and then a sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant. And so I guess where my kind of food addiction comes out in this is that I order the 3 sandwiches because it's the 3 different bread options that they have. The breakfast baconator comes on a hamburger style bun. The sausage and egg and cheese biscuit comes on a biscuit, and the sausage, egg, and Swiss comes on a croissant. And so that's how I justify in my mind every time I order, even though they're all the same sausage. Like sometimes I would substitute chicken, but generally they're always sausage. In this particular meal. Other meals I mixed, like the Long John Silver's meal yesterday. I had chicken, fish, hot dog, and cheese curds, I guess, if you want to make that a category. But I had all of those meats in that meal. And so I guess I'm just trying to show where my addiction and fast food is, and if you can relate to that, then I hope that maybe what I'm doing helps you to, and you don't have to do what I'm doing. And so I broke this down. And so if when I purchase that meal, if I don't get a drink that has calories, that's 2,350 calories. If I do get a drink, it's generally about 2,700. I mean, for what 2,400 is what I'll go, but because it's 2,350 was the low end. By all accounts, 2,400 calories is a daily allowance. I'm gonna have a lot of days where I eat less than 2,400 calories an entire day. I've gone entire month less. But anyways, and that was just a breakfast. I generally, not a rule of thumb, but I generally only ate out for breakfast or lunch. Those rare occasions where you get stressed or you happen to drive by one of your favorite restaurants and you already had breakfast. I mean, you got to get it when you drive by it. You're never in that area of town anyways, and all the food I'm sure is different than it was 2 weeks ago when you convinced yourself you're never in that area of town. Um, so that's out of control. 2,400 calories. I mean, one of those sandwiches would have been more than most people need, and I'm eating three of them with a side of fries. So I just, I know that it's. I mean, this, and I was talking like even thinking about this. I'm looking up the nutrition values, and there's photos of these items, and it's causing hunger, and it's that's a problem. I mean, I'm not surprised it's causing hunger because of the fasting. That's not. I'm just saying I need to find other alternatives, and I have started trying to find some alternatives on YouTube. If any of you guys have some suggestions, I know that person that I was commenting with on, or that was commenting on Reddit, had suggested a guy vegan keto. Um, there was a doctor that runs the True North Clinic that I was looking at what they do for their post or fasting diets, and they're very much a raw whole food plant-based diet, and they seem to have had success with it, and so that's it's something I'm looking into as well. Again, the idea of not having animal meat again is tough. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure anybody that eats like I eat, it would be tough to fathom, and so that's really where I'm hanging up on that. But there's one other thing I was gonna talk about before I got out of here, and I can't seem to think about it right now. I think I went over everything, or for the most part. I, yeah, I'll probably get on tomorrow. It'll be 4 o'clock tomorrow that I'll get on. If, like I said, if anybody has any suggestions for, like a low carb vegan or keto, I don't know. There's a thing called flexitarian that I was looking into. That there's not a whole lot on that, but it's kind of a vegan with food every few days. Uh, yeah, I mean that's been a lot of my focus. Is I've been watching some people make kind of vegetable based meals, just to kind of get an idea. I mentioned yesterday that if it's a matter of cooking a steak or making spaghetti and or stuff like that, mac and cheese, I can do that all day. But you want me to fry up some rice, which I can't. I really don't like rice. But I don't mind the other vegetables if they're cooked and seasoned. That's another thing about that True North thing. There's like no salt or anything. It's very, very restrictive. So that's a tough one to wrap my head around there. But yeah, just kind of rambling today. It was about that. Oh, you know what? I'll go into it. Sure. Um, the person was talking. Somebody had made a comment about they were asking what I'm doing, and the I haven't replied to it yet, but they were asking what I'm doing, and if they're afraid of doing uh, bariatric surgery, but they feel like that might be the only option, or it was something along those lines. And that's something I've been talking about with my wife a little bit, and others here, is that um, the there's a lot of. I was looking up like what you do if you're gonna have bariatric surgery. Like if you were gonna go to the doctor and have surgery, like the pre-diet, pre-surgery diet, and then post-surgery diet and things like that. And really, I think that, I mean, from the one, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I only really looked at like one source, so I can't. But it was like whatever came up high in Google. But essentially, the diet looked how I guess I would recommend somebody get into fasting. It was for a couple weeks out, you eliminate, some of the addictive things and the sugars, and you start eliminating some foods. Um, I think that maybe, and I'm not a doctor, so I don't know anything, but there might be some science into eating foods that maybe get you more fat adapted before you go into your fast. But then if you were to, fast at the same point where somebody else has the bariatric surgery, and then for a period after the surgery, they're not allowed to do anything but drink clear liquids, which is essentially fasting. And it may be up to a week. Like I said, I don't have it in front of me, and I'm just kind of going on about it. Uh, but if you were to just fast that week, and then if you fast for a week, you get into that position where you're in a scenario where refeed becomes a little bit more of an issue, especially if you have any health issues, I would imagine. But uh, if you fast for a week, I feel like from what I've read or out there, that's when you have to start considering refeeding slowly. And so, again, bariatric surgery, you do their you fast like when somebody would, where you would have the surgery. And then you come out of that and you're eating, purified foods, small amounts. I mean, just like you would refeed out of a fast. And so I'm kind of curious to see how it goes for me here with it. But that's kind of, something I'm going to look at too, is maybe refeeding, similar to how if I would have had bariatric surgery, how they would have you refeed. I mean, it's again, like I said, it's you don't eat solid foods right away. You're eating purified things. I think they have eggs and other things that are on my maybe I'm not going to do list for a while. So that's another option. But I'm not saying fasting is an alternative to bariatric surgery, but if your doctor would recommend you do everything that they do when they do bariatric surgery, then I don't see why your doctor wouldn't be okay with you fasting for those same days that somebody would be fasting after surgery, if that makes sense. Coming up. Like I don't know how they could argue against, like if I'm allowed to go in and have surgery on my stomach and then fast for a week or just have clear liquids for a week, why can't I just do all the same stuff except for eliminate the surgery and then fast for that week, and then allow your body to start, your stomach to get smaller and things like that, and then eat like they suggest you eat when you have surgery? Like why can't you eat the same diet that somebody who had bariatric surgery had without having the bariatric surgery? I don't see how they could argue against that. But I'm not a doctor, and so there's probably, maybe there's some glaring thing I don't know. But I have gone on for long enough, and just to wrap it up, I'm going to say I'm really happy. 31 days in, 600 some hours, some crazy amount, right? It was 737 hours and counting. I'm going to keep going on. I have this weird thing. I want to taste test food, like I'm helping cook stuff, or like I had like peanut butter on my finger, that any other time you just lick the peanut butter off. And I had to be like, well, I guess I'm not licking the peanut butter off. So I'm gonna get out of here, guys. I am having a blast losing the weight. I'm gonna keep it up. I hope that everybody out there is succeeding with their weight loss and they are facing all their challenges and you are all succeeding. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you like the video, you can hit the thumbs up. First time checking me out, subscribing. I think there's like a notification bell. I also have an Instagram account that I did post a comparison of my sides from day 3 to day 30. I mean, it's like 75 pounds different, 70 pounds different. It looks really different from the side. I was pretty bloated that day. I think I took those starting pictures, but I was actually had started. I was already a couple days into the fast on that photo. Anyways, it's on Instagram. It's at Fasting. That's FAHSTING. You guys have a great day. I will see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central Time.